looking. Behind them, Conan just not even watching it with his own gun. Liazzi's still there close to the corner, only with the Spectre, 10 bullets. Anybody going to be walking into him now with 40 seconds left? He's putting a break and a pause into the play because the spike has been dropped down at the wall.
I've got to be honest with you, I think this is a save for NRG.
Now.
They're in a 2v4, they have an... barely any money, Marv's only 50 credits, Crashy's 350. The rounds have gone back and forth, they don't have a big loss bonus, they just won the prior. So this has got to be a save. And if Furia have the confidence for it, and if they decide to push forwards as the time gets lower, these could be big rewards if you're able to take the op and the rifle out of NRG's hands.
They're keeping their own guns though, their money's low enough.
But I mean, yeah,
it is. I mean, I think it's a worthwhile though, risk to take.
You do see Liazzi actually looking to go forwards because he's the player with the Guardian, right? So he's not bothered about saving that into the next round. But it looks like nobody on NRG is really going to get spotted. So they survive. Anticlimactic end, but what a map that we've got here. Furia certainly coming back into it. The second time out called by NRG.
And here we go, the heat's being turned up.
Look at these crossfires. I mean, it's such an unusual position, honestly, for Liazzi to be playing it. When the attacking team has already taken tunnel control, you are pretty much screwed in that.
You're just out in the open. That's why I was talking about how important it was to just hold tunnel with the op in that spot.
But he managed to make it work.
Exactly. I mean, I thought that when the player, I think it was Crashes, crossed over and caught that timing, I thought that was going to be the end of it.
But they were too focused on archers because the recon dart just came through at that exact time from Conan. I mean, things are getting a little messy here, but I think major credit to Furia because they have found ways of being able to win on the defense side right now. You know, they're not giving away early picks. They're actually forcing NRG to come up with game plans that make sense to close these rounds out. And NRG have not actually demonstrated big execs that are functional on A or B. They're doing a lot of work in the map, trying to find picks. It's a slower approach to Breeze. And thus far, Furia are not giving them the openings. That's making it tough for NRG. Ethan is going to be getting close. After this round, he's going to have the KO ultimate. Now that could be a massive difference maker as you head towards round 24. I think it's very, very likely that we see a 12-11 score here in favor of NRG, but only slightly.
Time ticking down. Like you said, ults to build towards, maybe Crashes as well, build towards the Hunter's Fury in this round. Hope and pray that Demon 1 might be able to find something, at least with that operator. He's still got drone. Gonna be used.
It's a strange dynamic though for NRG because they want to put Demon 1 and Victor in good positions, but they don't want to lose the rifles. Right? Or the operator.
Yeah, Khalil is not giving him anything. There might be a chance though. He's creeping onto the left angle. Guess what? Havoc is playing there. No way! What? That's barely a sliver.
Another disgustingly unfortunate moment for Havoc as he just gets drilled by that, man.
Here.
He's having a nightmare already.
Yeah.
Turning up to the tier 1 level and playing against the world champ. The top level performing player from Champions.
Tough ask. MW looked like he wanted to take nice little fight, but no, backs away now, realizing that they've lost control of halls.
And Victor's quite isolated over towards elbow here. He's going to be in the hard lurk position. But he's got that rifle.
Walking up. Crashies. Might hear that trip close, at least the cam as well, he can hear it. Yeah, they ping.
And Marv just getting that fuel back. Now they can go for a proper exec.
Just walking
still just contacting behind it. But the cam is going to see all of this.
And here it is. Util's broken. Still close to the corner, Khalil. Cage is up. Plant, Ethan. To be dissuaded away from it with any sort of util. Just going to let that one get off here. Khalil doesn't dodge the flash for the underhand. There was no peek coming through it. There's Victor.
And now he's opened up the B side, the mid-rounding. This is the opportunity. Oh, of course, the plan.
Still close, yeah. Still close to the corner, though. And they're still walking a little bit wider. There it is. Lineups being used on offer, and this is when the time really starts to tick. Putting it all on the line here for Furia. This could be the backbreaker, the round win, just based off of that alone. But the lineup's bad. Yeah, slight miss to the side, but they don't want to stick it in the moment here. Still, Conan pressing the advantage, pushing forward still. Khalil, he will fall, half on it, and a shot finds Hart. Wonderful finish. It's 13 to 10.
What a way to close it out. Marv with an operator, throwing his lineups and finishing things out, getting the better end of MW. But you can't say that Furia didn't push him there. That second half was not easy. Powered by both of the pistol rounds going the way of the Brazilian squad. They've got chances in this match. And NRG still played exceptionally well. That first half with the initiator utility was almost immaculate.
Yeah. Really started to see that caliber shine.
And yet, you know, Furia really showing why they should be treated with some respect. Dark Horse team pushing NRG, showing that they're able to keep up in terms of the individuals. Big performances from MW and Liazi on that map. And if Havoc wakes up and comes online and gets that experience under his belt,
I mean, that's what you mean. I mean, you've got
it's going to level him up.
that scoreline, close map like that with one of your players putting up, what, 2 kills at the end?
Something like that, yeah. I mean, and actually not the kind of map where Havoc was owning people with his supportive utility either.
Yeah.
He was just a little slow to warm up on the stage.
Well, map 1 all done and dusted as well. Going to be taking a short break on the other side of things, setting us up for that critical and crucial map number 2. You don't want to miss it, so don't go anywhere.
Rachel, you okay?
No. I live with a broken phone. I can't trade in.
Okay, that's dramatic. Better plan's Verizon. Everyone can trade in their old phone and get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus with AI on them.
A new phone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Wait, I'm on Verizon. Can I still get it?
Yeah.
I gotta trade this in, right?
New and existing customers can trade in any Samsung phone for a new Galaxy S24 Plus watch and tablet, all on us. That's up to $1,800 in value, only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
NRG manages to pick up the win in the opening contest here at VCT America's Kickoff, but I'm sure a few NRG fans had a couple beads of sweat trickling down their foreheads for a few moments there because things were looking a little dicey from time to time, but then, you know, I guess cooler heads prevailed and then NRG was able to find that win.
Ultimately, once MWZera got the up in hand on their defensive half, like the rounds started getting a lot more laborious for NRG to actually go and close out, but that was one of the breeze maps of all time.
That was the breeziest map. Yes.
It's just every round is we're either hitting a site or our jet is sitting in halls. It was very breeze. But I think what we learned about NRG from that match is they were not lying when they were talking about in the offseason that the chem was hitting with Demon 1. Because we saw it here. I feel like Ethan and Crashies did an absolutely excellent job, especially in this first half, at setting up their new star.
I liked a lot of their mid work, too. There were a few different times here, of course, going multiple players down mid, jumping up, but also those elbow pushes with the jet and the Cypher.
Yeah.
Sometimes just the Cypher escorting jet to get that boost up angle, peek into spawn, and it was just there for like 5 seconds, then they were falling out. It wasn't like a all-in protocol. It was we fish for a pick, then we fall up space. It was a very mobile defense, which I liked a lot.
Yeah, and even just rounds where they were heavy anchoring sites, I thought they used their Cypher util super well. Victor was just being permitted to set up his cam towards B. It was never being broken, so they could gamble these really heavy 3 or 4 stacks towards the site that Furia was hitting, and always have the great supportive util for either Marv or Demon 1 as that main anchor.
It was so easy for them to just sort of play off of that B side of the map because Furia showed a couple of hits towards B early on, and then after that it was a lot of A, it was a lot of mid work. So you'd just have very deep positions from NRG towards their spawn or peeking in behind whenever a mid split was happening, where they were shooting people in the backs of the heads. I think NRG sort of waited for Furia to overplay their hand and punish them for it.
And Furia couldn't fully beat the MWZera is the one player who goes crazy while everyone else is double negative allegation. We were very close to that happening, but it didn't. I think we started to see this team come alive a little more in that second half. Liazzi was having a lot of important rounds, but really I think the catalyst came down to MW and his op, and also to how NRG was playing that attack. It was so slow.
Also, I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but you know, Havoc did start off this game 0-9 out of the break, so I had to because you know,
that's messed up.
You need all 5 players to hit, and it, you know, wasn't really working out that well for Havoc, which, you know, we'll give him some grace because obviously it's like you just the first game on the main stage, right?
And
this
you're playing a team like NRG. That's scary.
I don't want to put too much stock into that, but I do think that in some capacity that does play a little bit of a role here, especially when it comes to nerves.
Look, it's the elephant in the room. It was the one round, got the 2 kills, couldn't make it happen again. But like you said, it's one game. Get over it.
You dust it off and you move on.
Just play Valorant.
Yeah. Who cares,
so
right? Ultimately, who cares, right? Life moves on. You know, focus on this next map because what's going to be coming up here is NRG's pick of Ascent, and we've seen, you know, the core of this team go to this. It's always been a reliable map, if you will, for a lot of teams, and I would suspect that in NRG's case, they picked this because, well, quite frankly, you don't want to show too much right now in the early stages of this tournament.
On this map of Ascent, what I'm looking at is the 2 new IGLs, Conan coming in for Furia and Ethan over for NRG, and what they can bring on their attack sides when it comes down to the mid-rounding. On NRG's side, the team during the offseason, Crashies in particular, was talking about the fact that what they were really focusing on was how they were going to kind of provide the same ideas and provide the same help they always did to finesse in the mid-round with Ethan, who's a different person and calls in a bit of a different style, but he was confident that they got his style down and were comfortable in the mid-round, and I think for me, this is the big test of that on NRG's side.
And ultimately, the big challenge when it comes to like mid-round IGLing on attack on this map is, can you sort of oversell one side of the map that you're hitting into, right, with a couple players moving towards market or towards tree, and then anticipate the rotations through spawn so you can turn it right back around to the opposite direction. I think that is a big test, and honestly, if they just continue playing as well as they are between the KO and the Jet combo of the world, like we saw back on Breeze, I think NRG remain in a...
I mean, they were doing some cool things, right? I was liking the combos they were whipping up, really giving Demon 1 just so much room to do what he does. And, you know that was always going to be the case, right? Because, you know, you signed Demon 1, so it's kind of the point. But to see it really execute that way, should give a lot of people confidence here.
And I think on Breeze, it's a little bit less like stock standard how you set up a Jet. Ascent is a solved map, how KO is going to flash the Jet to refight into A main when the attackers are moving in there, right? or you know, creep the op up towards B main and get that forward line with the operator. So I think this is a map that both teams will be much more comfortable with in terms of those fundamentals of how they are going to end up playing it. So I'm trying to cope a little bit and say that
but you see, but when you say you got two teams that look comfortable on this, but then it's really hard to be like, both teams, they should be all right. But
and then look, I'm over here spiraling because as I feed out the cope, I'm spitting out the cope. I'm like, yeah, but they also won both pistol rounds and still lost them out. Like the only reason Breeze looked close was the pistols, and then finally an operator in the hands of MW's era.
But what do we have on Ascent? Pistol rounds. Two of them. And
Really?
guess what you can buy on Ascent?
No way.
you buy pistols?
You can.
Okay.
But you can also buy the operator.
Whoa.
Okay, hold on.
That's a take I
Now,
never
what
heard
would you
before.
do with that?
Shoot them, perhaps.
It's a
And
bold
use-
move, Con. See if it's going to pay off.
Solved.
Solved. And talking about solved maps, guess what,
Whoa.
guys? These comps, so shocking. Who could have seen it coming?
All right, Golden Boy, do you want to tell me how these comps play here?
You see, what you're going to do is you're going to set up your jet to go ahead and take A main control.
Okay.
You're going to use your Killjoy, and you're going to give yourself some mid presence so that this way you can try and keep track of your opponent. And then after that, you're going to have your Sova working over on the other side of the map. She's trying to prevent them from coming inside of that thing, and then they get shot with the Odin. That's the map.
Why are we even here, Mimi?
I mean, well, you're here because you're remarkably better at your jobs than I am. So
I don't like that voice. Stay away from
You don't like this voice, Mimi? What a shame.
Win conditions for me from Furia. Win the pistol round, get MW and off, get that momentum rolling, see more success from Liazi while anchoring. If they can get this map going in the right direction, maybe they can pull it off.
You know what, Mimi, just for you.
Let's go ahead and find out if Furia bounces back and send it over to your casters.
Mute
Here's
him.
Brandon Shaship.
Mute.
I mean, GB was doing a stellar job, honestly. He was just, detailing the entire map. We've seen this one played out, but it is Ascent, map number 2 here. Furia versus NRG. Moments where, it was a close first map. Furia, chances for them to try and take it away from NRG, but now we're heading into it. It's NRG's map pick itself. And really no shift in terms of the roles or the compositions of it. And Victor now playing on the Killjoy. It is bread and butter. It's standard. It's been the case for eons.
Yeah, but I think on the attack side, you actually can have some differences in how you approach this map. EG used to set up Demon 1 by going for map control and searching for picks. That's kind of how this team just called on Breeze on their attack side, right? Whereas old NRG under Finesse used to do a bit more defaulting into site execs. So there is a pretty big difference there in terms of how you set your jet up. Speaking of setting jets up, MW has a Sheriff, and he's playing in that little bait spot over towards Heaven.
Going for the split here. Paranoia's nice. Cuts his way through. Havoc trying to go for the re-peek with the flash, but just baited out the util now. NRG looking for a bit of a pivot.
They've scared them away, but look at this. Conan and Havoc have read it.
They're straight there. There's no flash to set this one up. Havoc's just taking a fight. He's just swinging wide. Takes out Demon 1. There you go.
New map, new beginnings, new Havoc.
Talk about getting your confidence back. 4 versus 4 with a minute left in the round. MW, re-exploration now out towards main. That's a jiggle. Oh, shot through the wall, not enough. Crushes, what was that, right clicks?
Yeah, how is the Classic beating the Sheriff there? It's absurd.
Maybe the entrance they needed now as well. Smoke blocking away, flash on top of it, damage. So a lot of the players, half HP, but it's still a 2 versus 4.
Spike planted.
Gonna have a rough time of things. Needs to get an opening pick somehow. There was a chance with Marv just peeking the jiggle, but now showing a bit of respect. Look at this position here. There's the Hell player. Any swing available? Not quite. Ethan wasn't in a position for it. So cleared out towards Hell. Weren't watching for it though. That re-swing. Now Paranoia. All the util.
That's immaculate.
It's layers, isn't it? Leaves Conan in an impossible situation. Out of range of the turret, but as soon as he steps forward as well, Ethan, he's still going to deal with him, and he's not going to be granted the chance or opportunity. 3 bullets left time. It's an impossibility now. Pistol round win for NRG. They're toying with them, playing with their food.
And that's a new turret change there. It's only got a 100-degree radius in the sight line, so something to think about. Not the biggest change in the world, but NRG very comfortably took that away. Basically, the important kill was Crashes being able to get his pick onto MW as MW re-explored into A main. I mean, it's like an info re-clear over towards A, and Crashes wins it, and that just opens up the site completely for them. You're expecting the defending team to be generally favored on Ascent. But at the same time, Furia, the more aggressive they play, the more they play against the strengths of the map, I think, actually. So it's another one where MW's got to have that patience and that discipline that Furia have talked about, trying to develop across this offseason. Look, I mean, look at the way that Ethan is set up to try to punish aggression through B main. They've got a flash off a turret.
They're ready for it.
They are so ready.
MW.
And these are the kind of preparations that NRG will have been going through to try to shut down what they view as the main win condition. And I think most people view as the main win condition for Furia, especially when you've got a map pool that has 2 big jet maps to open up. They've got game plans to try to deal with MW. But again, discipline, patience, MW not giving himself away early on, and that puts the onus actually on NRG to make something happen. As it happens, there's nobody home at A.
It's a gamble.
They're just literally going to walk into A, get the plant down.
Nobody is home.
And this is going to be the least eventful round you've ever seen.
It is so slow.
But diligent.
It is diligent, yeah. Taking the time with it, making sure that, you know, like you said, mid-aggression was accounted for. 30 seconds left.
And just to use this opportunity to talk a little bit about the team styles. So this is a blending of Evil Geniuses of last year, the championship team, with NRG or that kind of optic core, really, right?
Victor's got a rifle. Don't want to lose it. Go on, Victor!
Close.
Listen, it might be an eco, but I was getting excited.
Yeah. So are the sponsors of the Ace.
Yeah, exactly.
But, oh, poor thing. What a waste.
What a waste. Yeah, we'll not be letting them pick up that Vandal.
So just to talk a little bit, though, this NRG super team has been a blend of the championship squad with that old optic core. And they approach the game in very different ways. Obviously, neither of the IGLs of those teams are actually on this super team. But the 2 different approaches that they had, you know, Finesse tends to call like a default into some kind of exec and trying to mix up the pacing and disguise what he's doing. You see EG, they were all about trying to take aggressive map control and set up Demon 1 to fight things and try and bait their opponents into reclearing. So I'm really interested to see what this version of the team does. Yeah, are they similar to one of the teams or the other? Do they have their own new calling style?
Down to the knife. Swings down, clears through into mid. Just dodging.
Shadows traveling.
And this is very much that kind of default, making it seem like they're playing for mid control, but actually going into an A split.
Players there. Oh my! Spot of mid not accounted for. Victor was hoping for the B main push. At least that's where he set his sights. A lot of players there. Lit up with the paranoia, going for an attempt havoc. There it is! Balance with the confidence. Khalil pushing out, not showing any respect in the slightest.
And that is a dismantling of what NRG wanted to do in this round. And it's because they disrespected all of that utility. NRG threw the util to make it look like they were going down mid, and Furia said, nah.
Yeah.
And MW just literally walked up mid and was like, there's no one here, mate.
So with murder almost.
Yeah, if you can call your opponent's bluff in those situations, you're going to benefit massively because you just get so much more info about what they're actually trying to do. You need the confidence, though, to be able to fight against that.
Well, round 4, Havoc's double the amount of kills he's got compared to map number 1.
Yeah, and again, it's not like we were saying at the end of Breeze, Havoc's a terrible player. No. You're expecting him to go 2-20 in every game. No, he's been extremely successful at the tier 2 level, and it just looks like he had some nerves in map 1, which is super understandable.
Bit of a one-off when you're playing against a new super team on the block.
Certainly.
Good salvage, denying that bonus round. Here we go, fast play. Yep. Paranoia, but a flash. Everybody was playing anti-flash positions. Ethan.
And this actually is how Furia could lose this game after looking so good at being able to put up rounds like the one previous. Because the more aggressive they play the defense, the more I think they're going to play into NRG. But that's an interesting reclear to catch Victor. Pull things back into a 4v4.
Sees 3. Walking around, this is a little bit awkward in terms of the defensive players here. Furia just wondering where they can really stand. Liazzi, he's spotting anything out. It's all about that timing. Marv, he's found it. Classic playstyle of his, always just making sure that he can creep in at the right time. Knife against the dice. Suppression across the board. At least onto Havoc. Now we see the Hunter's Fury. It's going to be offloaded to try and at least support them. Havoc still gets the 1. In the meantime, in all of that sound and chaos and confusion, it's Conan. He's walked his way past the smoke. Demon 1 falls, 2v2 with 37 seconds left. Khalil, flanks on flanks. All the way on flanks here, leave it to Crashies. It's a 1v2, Crashies! Not bullets, but a wonderful chance, a wonderful attempt.
And you can't have watched that and not believed for a moment that that was going to happen. Ooh. Just couldn't quite get the spray down there. Great work dealing with that aggro lurk from Marv, though. It felt like for a moment Conan hadn't quite accounted for the fact that Marv could be all the way up into grass, and then Khalil came back on the flank and was able to handle it. But Ren, if we're talking about calling styles on the attack side, this version of NRG is not going into big set executes.
Yeah.
They're actually a little trickly in terms of how they're committing.
Really quite slow, cautious. Top flash play, plenty to receive, plenty of targets. Look at that, the layers again of the util. Having to use the TP, but Marty couldn't see a bloody thing. Didn't know where he was going. TP'd straight into the wall here, and of course it's the eco, so these early kills being collected up, maybe a chance for Fury to build up some key ultimates.
But also, the fact that NRG picked this map allowed Furia to pick defense, and because they're favored, and because they're getting into situations like this has got to be a morale build-up for people like Havoc, for people like MW, I mean, for the rest of the team, to believe that they can accomplish it. With how close map 1 was, they should be favored to get up to a bit of a lead here. It's still fine for NRG if they only put like 4 on the board, honestly. But that is going to really light a fire under Furia.
It might just start getting a little bit more difficult as well. Paying attention to the money situation. They might want to try and get an op in MW's hands. I mean, Khalil's got the money for it. And when you get that op on the defense side of Ascent in your Jets, I mean, it's just going to be open up plenty of opportunities.
And we saw what it did on Breeze. That was one of the big turning points, was getting the operator into MW's hand. And he wasn't always trying to push super aggressively forward. But yeah, I agree with that.
See if they opt into it.
I mean, you're unlikely to do it in a round like this because nobody lost a rifle. Yeah, but assuming we see somebody die here, we could certainly see a reinvestment for round 7. This one, aggressive re-clear strategy over towards A main. Really cool thing to throw in occasionally. You're not pushing out beyond the bounds of where Ascent is really powerful on defense. You're just allowing the map to work for you, catching your attacking opponents in tight choke points.
NRG with a timeout now. Something's got to change.
And I think the ult situation is actually the thing that's going to change the most. They're heading into this next round with a lockdown and an ult command to be able to work with. And those are big ultimates to be able to cook up some kind of attacking idea. And that's probably, I think, why they've called the timeout, because Chet's probably got a specific strategy that he wants them to run. And coming out of the timeout, these are... Whereas NRG, at least at the moment, we've got a small sample size, but on the attack side, they feel like quite a fluid team. They're trying to gain information, take map
poking
control.
And prodding, seeing where people are.
Yeah.
Using the info at like the minute mark.
And I think after these timeouts, it's probably going to be a bit of a stylistic shift because, again, from what we know of Chet, he tends to call more structured strategies coming out of the timeout. So we'll just have to wait and see. As I say, this is a new super team. We don't exactly know what the style is going to be.
Feigning a bit of aggression. I mean, the only player in mid here is Havoc with the flash.
It looks like they're going to go for the recon dart wall bang strat, though, with Conan. And there's a lot of players over towards tiles.
Through the Odin.
I mean, if Crashies decides to drone at the beginning here, he could get caught, but he's just chilling.
Yeah, just chilling. Be up close, so they were aware of it. NRG containing.
But again, for NRG, this looks like they're taking mid control. They've knifed market, they're droning down. From Fury's point of view, you've got to think, is Demon 1 following this? And Havoc is immediately jiggle peeking to realize, no, Demon 1 is not there in mid. So they're trying to, you know, get a situation where Demon 1 can find a pick without Fury expecting it on B. But Fury actually have all the info about where NRG are playing right now.
Especially now.
The thing is, the spike is on the other side, so this is never going to become a B exec. You look at the minimap, there's just no way.
Re-clear in A main.
I mean, not just a re-clear. This is...
Re-push.
I mean, they're going for some frozen yogurt. They're out in gelato.
There's a lockdown. Spammable spot. Spammable spot. Shot darts. It was a little bit too high, actually, with the aim. I think the bullets were just sailing right over it, so it's not going to be taken out. Awkward. Have to play out back here, but no players detained. Now deciding to make their moves in towards the B side, but it lit up again. Nobody's taking care of this util. That's Demon 1, I believe Norton 5 now. Crashies, maybe, can claim some space. Get themselves into the site with Ethan with that plan, but MW is right behind them. Look at this flank timing, you can see it. Poking all the way out, gives him away. Talk about Pinocchio's nose. As online, Havoc back in the fight, back in the action. It's a flash over the top. No casualties off the back of it, and his post-plant position is not ideal for NRG. You've got 3 players playing onto the site.
Marv still has that paranoia. Can he cook anything up with that? Looks like he's going to try and use it on these lane players.
Gonna need a miracle, but time, maybe. Working on their side. There's a paranoia, big one. 3 players colliding and still come down to just really the minute details. Moving their way forwards. What are these one-ways? Furia, though. They had the players, they had the advantage there. And it's a clean retake.
Oh, Liazzi is cooking with those one-ways. Those are awesome. I don't know how much they particularly help, but it did make it a little bit more difficult for NRG to fight their way out of that. A huge player advantage, though, and I like that you've drawn attention to Demon 1 being 0 and 5, because it's not like Demon 1's failing his duels, right? It's not like we're seeing Demon 1 trying to take aggressive angles, fight a player, and lose him. In fact, actually, it's that he's getting snarled up as he tries to enter the site.
He's getting caught by the initiator, you feel. Most of the time. It's one of the storylines we were talking about leading into this, honestly, was the difference between the initiator players and that map 1, but what a time to come alive.
And thus far, Furia have been playing a really nice defense, not overextending too much, and MW actually picking his time to push out Gelato in that previous round and got onto a beautiful flank for the retake. So, timing it quite nicely. This is an aggressive hold of Catwalk, with Liazzi tucked in this corner.
Yeah.
But this looks more like an Evil Geniuses round from last year, where Demon 1's hunting for a pick over towards mid, and then the team has options of, should we go cat, should we split B, should we go back to A, playing a 1-3-1 default, with Demon 1 the tip of the spear. And now somebody's called at the minute mark for them to group up on A. That's where MW's holding with the op.
A main's gonna be theirs. Can MW do anything about this? Because Cavalry is here, looking at it. That's a wide face, jumping around, but it at least fires off the first shot, and they're trying to flood into this one. Victor right from behind, alert timing. They do not expect a bloody thing all the way through. He's claimed 2.
Immaculate play from NRG, setting that one up. The entire feint into A, just to allow Victor to get those 2 kills. The weaponry is still not great, though. They haven't even recovered the second rifle from the player that they killed.
Still the player advantage, and when you take these close quarter fights, doesn't matter that you've got one of the players on the stinger damage. Marv, lucky to be alive.
They're saving.
They're saving. They have to.
Saving.
They have to. Op retake into that. When they set up in the post flank close to the site, you can't clear all of them.
What a round to pull out from NRG. They've been looking to try to set that play up in one of the previous rounds too. We saw Marv try to get on that aggro lurk timing, but look at this. I mean, also just catches a flash of havoc. And this gap now has got to be plugged for Furia. NRG doing a great job there. The IGL, the call to feint as if it's going to be a big explosion into A, and actually it's that aggro lurk timing that's the playmaker. And of course, when NRG is sending utility into A and making it look like an exec, the A players are going to look towards the site. Yeah. Right? They think that's where the danger's coming from. But now they're going to have to adjust. They're either going to need 3 people at A and 1 watching catwalk, or somebody plays aggro in mid and tries to catch the player walking down cat. You know, there's many different ways to try to plug that gap, but Fury have got to come up with one of them. And at the moment, I mean, this one is unusual. Khalil with the op.
He switched it over, swapping out the guns. So they're going to be going for, it looks like, it's a weird one, like a Towers crunch, I think, through main. Dart deep into mid. Paranoia as well, dash forward, so just trying to catch one of those plays, but look at it. Victor is out of there. He is hightailing it.
And the call from NRG is react into A, into Khalil. Did they spot the fact that he has an op?
Flash is nice. That's really nice. Pushes him off the angle for but a moment, enough as well for the team to get right into the site, and they've gained all that ground. Hunter's Fury is late. Conan, no targets to be found, and here goes the plan. Ethan.
Spike planted.
How does this retake come online? Deal with the operator again, drone. What does it see? What players close now? Shot darts. against the side. Nades as well. Time is ticking. Paranoia was saved for just that moment with the dart as well, and their waves of all that. Util! Hello! Still, the counter spam! Khalil, he finds that one. It's up to Crashies. Pushing forward to help out Demon 1 as well. Reinforcements might have arrived and just in time, but Demon 1 still, he can't get the kill. It's up to Victor. Holding down towards main. Smoke in his face. He doesn't have a clue where they are. Diffuse being stuck.
Plenty of time. What a retake from Furia. I don't know how they managed to get both of those players in hell. It felt like NRG's setup should have rewarded them, in fact, because they had a double flash play with a recon dart up into hell. The players up top were lit up by the recon.
I mean, that much delay.
But at the same time, the counter spam just came through from Furia and both players in hell.
2 kills into the players in hell. Look at this. Ah, lit up. That's why.
Wow. Perfect stuff.
Really nice.
And what an interesting smoke again from Liazi. It's not on the spike, but it's just kind of like out there for him to try to teleport into, even though he got caught. The retakers from Heaven are able to utilize some of it. And here we go, another tiles crunch.
Yeah, we're into it again. This time they are not ready. NRG, the discipline has been there to contain, but they just get overwhelmed.
I mean, do you expect that to happen again, the very next round? 2 rounds in a row. The Fury decide the exact same strategy is going to work.
Very unexpected.
The first to try to force the reaction into A, and the second, they just clean up all the kills, and Khalil was still there, ready.
Ethan.
Enemy remaining.
He's traded.
Spike down.
Even just a marved. Hello. 1 kill, flash dodge, but he's really just being approached now from B main angles. Spike dropped down, he has his ult. I mean, there's chances here, but he really just needs to find this one. He doesn't have a clue yet. Havoc. Sidestep, 6-3. Look at that scoreline. And remember, you know, listen, there's a Ascent defense side. Usually that team is going to be favored. That's Furia.
Yeah, but
it's looking clean.
At the same time, there are 2 big differences, right? The aggressive plays on defense are actually working. They're coming up good. And the other big thing is that Havoc has gone from the bottom of the scoreboard, 2-20, to now the top of the scoreboard.
Yeah, what a turnaround.
He's got into the groove. And that is always going to make a difference. And they were playing with half a player in the first map, because presumably the nerves were getting to it. They're going to have so much confidence here as well.
And W. That is a nice attempt.
Look at the ult from Marv.
He's all the way behind them. Yep, straight onto Heaven. Demon 1's in there. Finally, a kill to be found. Liazi off to the side there, but oh, it's Ethan. Stinger taking the space once more. It's all the way there. The plan now down. What's the post plan going to be looking like? Knives. Demon 1 choosing to use him. Oh, Ethan.
So little health.
So low, and they're all being spammed down. Demon 1 down to the 45 health. Crashies though, he's playing his time with this one. He's got his own ult as well, playing really tucked as well in a safe position straight through main. As long as he survives, it's really just quite unlosable. Demon 1 will really just ensure it, won't he?
And out of nowhere, there comes a round from NRG. As quickly as the prior went the way of Furia with that tiles crunch, instantly NRG answered back on an eco and just swarmed onto them.
Yeah.
Marv creating pressure from behind with the Omen ult. I mean, it's quite basic, the idea, really, and yet so effective from NRG because they swarmed together.
Just on that 4th round, pretty essential stuff. Glad to see the setup. But yeah, we're getting series of kills. Finally, Demon 1 as well, just really getting some value.
Yeah, he was slow to get off the mark. I don't think because of his, you know, mechanics dropping off or anything.
He's just been caught out a lot when he's just been trying to get the first one into the side. This time,
attack op.
Yeah, it's interesting. Flash again, maybe from that prior conditioning. So a similar attempt to what they were trying earlier in the half. Hoping a player will be caught there. The TP, spotted, so they know he's not going to be into that corner.
Yeah, and in theory, that means that Furia have control of A main. And in reality, they do too.
Yeah, Liazi's just holding it.
Yeah, Liazi's got post. Demon 1's been on a very passive angle with this operator, just looking for MW to make an aggro peek into him. But MW, again, patience, discipline, making sure that he's playing situations where NRG can't punish him. and tossing the ball back into NRG's court. It's now the attackers who've got to come up with an idea as the time ticks down.
Nice knife timing. They do have Ethan's ult though, and liazi playing this close one and done spot. I mean,
Ethan takes the operator. They're going for the exec.
Really? Okay.
Flashbang.
Flash through over the top. MW forced off the line. And here it is. Oh, there it is. Lit up. Lovely util. Lil was cleared out of that spot. Havoc trying to reposition. Attempted a flood defense, and now you might just have to call this one.
This is now 2 rounds in a row where mollies have made a massive difference. In the previous eco round where they exec'd onto A, it was Victor's nanoswarm that forced Havoc into a bad position over towards the switch. This round, they throw the KO molly from Ethan and it catches the player towards logs. This is how NRG are being able to create advantages as they go for their exec. It's making a big difference for them. And this is one of the few rounds actually that we've seen in this entire match where the time gets low, NRG are forced to do something, and they set up a big exec, and it works beautifully. They were struggling, I think, a little bit with that earlier on.
Barely with the elbow peeking out.
They do not want to lose that operator.
No, it's pretty critical in order for them to just be able to hold.
Ooh. On the other side, though, NRG's money is doing fine because they won that eco round.
Last round.
Picked up all the guns off the floor. So now this is a really good attack side. It is for NRG.
It's just turned on its head.
In the last 2 rounds. That's how Ascent works.
Making it 6-6 would be really fantastic for them. But yeah, I mean, you're just seeing from these replays, the util to flush them out. Singing the praises of the initiators, but it really showed there. And liazi playing that one and done. Punished. Final round now. This first half of Ascent.
With Demon 1 and Marv picking up the off at the start of the round.
Okay.
And Marv just using it, you know, just in case.
Yeah.
MW was getting a little bit silly over towards Gelato, perhaps. I would assume he has a rifle ready to go, too.
Shadows
MW going to be trying to set himself up here at the top mid. Not worried about the cross.
Good info, though, from that knife.
Yeah.
They know exactly where MW is playing. They know where the operator is now. They know where, you know, the aggression's happening too, because the turret caught contact over towards B main. So it's really passive here for NRG. And again, Demon 1 not following the drone. That was a real hallmark of how EG played their attack sides, was that Demon 1 would go aggressive behind the drone down mid. They're not really breaking this alarm bot, pressuring Furia too much. And it means that it's going to put pressure on this A split actually working, finding success. liazi is the first challenge.
Oh, here we go. Lots of players to meet him. He's got some backup. They're going to go for a reclear. Do they have util for this?
Oh,
Paranoia.
This is mad.
The Paranoia, but Havoc, I mean, he's too far ahead of it.
That's mad.
Paranoia did not catch.
Again, Furia just playing ahead of where the map kind of rewards the defenders.
And here we go, using that to clear him out. liazi has to respect it, has to back away. Hunter's Fury. Large connection onto the one. TP to disengage as well. He barely survives with his life. Marv facing them. Really just eager to try and take the fight straight to them now with 2 players left standing. A Furia looks so damn unlikely. Lockdown has to be used, but a counter lockdown in play. Did he have the util to clear this one? It's a nade. Wasn't quite entirely on the mark. But respect both of this one. Crashies! Spotted.
That might make it winnable for Furia.
That's 3v2. Have to make some big plays though. They know that these players are going to be cleared out, at least towards main, mainly because of that lockdown that was used. Oh, what a shot, Demon 1. Popping off at that one. That was a sharp kill. And he leaves it to Khalil. What can you do in this situation, son? I mean, absolutely nothing, but you got to make a go of it. It's not given any sort of sight line. There it is. Swing from Ethan, 6-6. Solid finish from NRG.
Yeah, half that looked like it was going to be very successful for Furia let slip in the final 3 rounds. I think broadly speaking, due to some unforced errors for Furia, this one in particular. That is a hell of a shot though from Crashies when you look at the replay. I mean, he's barely around the corner at all, and he got whacked.
1 enemy remaining.
I think we just caught Crashies in the chat saying,
I don't even know.
Didn't even know.
Didn't even know at all, but still, that finish, you cannot be angry with that. That's a 6-6 half. You're moving into Ascent now on your defense side. NRG's map pick. A lot to look forward to if you are an NRG fan. Let's send it down to the desk to discuss things so far.
Thank Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, I mean, look, NRG obviously pulling together quite the round there at the end that, you know, I think was a mix of things that could have gone Furia's way, could have gone Energy. It kind of feels like that's been the lowdown for this game, right? Every single time it feels as if NRG get like some momentum, Furia manages to find like a round win, a few round wins. So it's good to see Furia competing right back after that round loss.
Yeah, I mean, look, Furia were looking hot right off the bat. And even from the first kill of the game, Havoc comes in, wide swing out in mid, gets the pistol kill, and he had the best performing hat. Like, I look at the numbers, Mr. Havoc is at the top, and you love to see it. Honestly, Havoc was playing really, really aggressively, which is a big switch up to how he was playing in the previous game, going for a lot of aggressive plays, and honestly, I like it. He was putting himself out there.
Yeah, he really was putting himself out there in the world. I like some of the ideas too. Going for that shark attack twice in a row is pretty cool. But then we get in towards some of these later rounds, and Furia starts making some big mistakes. And it comes back to, I think, in 3 of those big rounds they lost, it was these A-site holds where they're either trying to sell that the op is somewhere else and hoping they'll push players into that op holding heaven. Both times Energy deal with it really well, get into the site, and honestly it kind of reminds me of Leviathan last year in that Furia has been saving in a lot of these man down situations, which means they're never attempting these A retakes, and Energy is just getting to close out rounds.
And it's because their site anchors are getting no kills. It's like 2 players falling sites open.
Either that or they're not even holding it.
It's like, yeah, we have like an op and an Odin. We're not going to be able to manage a retake here, so they end up being forced to be in a saving position. I will say NRG had a couple of nice looks, right? Like on those eco rounds. The eco rounds are the ones they're winning, you know, timing the A main hit with the lurk coming into tree. But all things considered, I think MW Zera needed to have more impact with the operator. And it's honestly thanks to Havoc taking more opening fights that they won some of those defensive rounds.
Well, let's see if NRG can close it out in 2, or will Furia force a map 3? Brent, Sideshow, over to you.
A potential uphill battle for Furia now that they stare down at that attack side. It's not their map pick, but listen, still even.
My eyes, to be honest with you, are going to be on Ethan and Crashies on this defense, because that initiating utility on Breeze was immaculate on the defense half.
Yeah.
So I'm looking towards them to kind of set the tempo for what they're going to be doing there.
Ascend plays as a map as well, where the attackers really forced as well to try and drag as much of that utility out to lays as possible before they go into the site hits. You don't want to get bogged down, you know, you got to try and pull maybe the paranoia, dart, nades.
Look at this, Brent. They made it, Furia trying to make it look like it was A, exploding onto B. There's still 3 NRG players, 4 on B. They didn't buy it for a moment.
Not at all. They've got the dart close to the corner. Doesn't actually tag onto anybody. MW close into logs, returning the fire. This time NRG, they want to try and take the fight. Conan, where's he found those? 2 kills, precise, straight to the cranium. Leave his Marved in a difficult spot, but he has a lot of util to work with. One smoke.
Spike planted.
And Paranoia just contacting though, doesn't want to reveal his position. It's a double face at the right time for Furia, and a pistol round gained.
That's the kind of stuff that Furia have been working on. Great closeout to the round, making sure that they're disciplined in those kind of moments. And 3 out of 4 pistol rounds going the way of Furia, that is certainly going to help. I mean, if NRG had won the pistol, they might have just run away with this map. So Furia get out to a lead early in the second half. Now it's about how much they can actually hold on to that.
Yeah, slams down the brakes for NRG with all that momentum that they were accruing. But
and just something to point out, we are seeing basically full ecos coming out for the team after they lose pistol. That is a massive shift compared to last year, where we would see people going for force buys, people going for sheriff buys, relying on the half armor. Even though there has only been, I think, 1 outlaw picked in the entire match so far, I think, anyway. It does seem to have an impact on the early round economy.
All you got to do is hold tab, see what their money's looking like on the buy round, and if you suspect that they're only going to be able to buy a rifle with the half armor, you pick it up. Cheap enough purchase.
The threat is actually more dangerous than reality.
Yeah,
when it comes to the outlaw.
Bit of a repeat of what we saw earlier, I think, in the first half as well. Just the gamble stack goes a bit wrong. NRG finally grouping up here, but not going to have too many chances. Now, they do have a bit of util. The dart, the flash, paranoia from Marv, so could get dangerous with it. Smoke popping out deep, but maybe they don't want to waste the money. Keep it, play the disciplined style as well. Just go down to the spike, deny any chance for Fury to build up those ults or get any extra pocket money.
And I think this next half coming up, is going to be where we can see if Conan is able to outcall NRG's defense. Just throwing a nade in there. Good measure. I mean, what's the need, man?
Yeah.
What is the need? All good, whatever, I suppose. Get yourself an ult. It's a pretty important ultimate to try to get online. But yeah, to me, the player that I'm taking an eye on over towards Furia, it's not really any of the players' performance, it's how they call. Because I think that's going to be incredibly important. Navigating those defensive setups that NRG have is the key to victory for Furia. And if Conan can call that, after being on the bench last year, getting called up to the main roster, picking up the captain's shoes as IGL, this could be his moment.
Massive. A lead granted for Furia. They'd love to extend it a little bit deeper now on the bonus. There's some danger to the bonus as well. I mean, they've got 2 rifles.
I like that lineup.
Yeah.
It's a nice one from a non-committed position.
Flash now through, but this time they do want to commit. All the util being expended. Look at that. There was even a paranoia that cleared through into Gen, but nobody's onto the site. Full containment is the name of the game. NRG, all their players alive.
When you play
Flash ready. Yeah.
NRG are playing retake with paranoia, 2 flashes, nade, recon, everything.
Bloody hell! What the hell is going on there? Liazzi still with the 2. Ethan! They're making mincemeat of all of them. MW is the last one left. In the blink of an eye, this has gone all skew with still damage and a Shakhtar to finish.
While I'm hyping up all the utility that they have, Ethan just ran in and murked everyone.
Yeah. What was that, a 3-piece?
Yeah, he got a 3K. Outdoing Liazzi, who was blind, just spraying down too. But yeah, Ethan, clean, precise. We'll see it in the replay here. Lines up Liazzi, who got a pick, takes down another, and then deletes Conan.
Almost with the 4th. Nasty, nasty play.
And again, Ethan, more of a supportive player on this roster.
Yeah.
And yet, he's still able to come out with stuff like that. That's the danger of this squad.
The bonus didn't convert like Furia perhaps were hoping for. Not enough money though to get this buy online, and now using the util, taking a main control. Do they want to rush into this one again? Ike suppressing them, slams down the brakes, and there's a re-exploration into mid. That's really 3 players looking here from NRG. They are fully pushed up. Victor, a chance maybe. Yep, they've waded right into it. Have a walk straight into the sideline. You kidding me? Let's doing that with the Bulldog. Plenty of players left standing as well. NRG, they hold all the ground in the world. Mid, be in their domain.
Point to that round as a defensive call, a read on what's happening on the other side, a masterpiece. And how did it's not like they threw a huge amount of utility to stop Furia from going for that A exec. They just decided to explore mid, to see if it was an A split. When it wasn't, they decided to pause because they hadn't heard anything A, see if they were going to walk down cat, and they were holding just the most bizarre angles.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a KO knife earlier. They caught onto a lot of them.
My KJ's out this.
I mean, yeah, dude, NRG are calling it. My KJ is out mid.
Yeah.
My Killjoy is just walking into mid and killing them all.
Into mid, but I mean, I don't know if that's a reaction off of it, but yeah, it's a great setup, a great play in the moment.
Yeah, yeah. Personally, I think what they were trying to do is maybe catch the other half of an A split off guard, and then when they realized that they had a chance to catch people as they re-exported into mid, they just set up on the nastiest angles. How does Furia get a read on that? There are, as far as I'm aware, no other team's playing that kind of style of defense in set.
That's strange. 8-8, evened up.
And it's not like it was given away by any piece of utility. They didn't throw a huge amount of util in mid. They just kind of walked in there. So there's nothing for Furia to get the read on. Does that incentivize Furia to do more A hits? Does that mean that they need to take mid control? It's pretty difficult to come up with an answer to stuff like that. And NRG have tied things up.
Yeah, not just that as well, though. The economy's taking a knock for Furia, so NRG set up to take the lead in this map, in the series. It's a big one. Furia the timeout, obviously anything that they've been calling probably going to be for the next one. We saw NRG, a lot of the rounds that they managed to get online on their own attack side was coming from these half-buy rounds. Maybe Furia can do something similar.
But Furia so far in this match have had very little success on the attack side. just been getting completely outdone.
Tag. Marv. Yeah, he's going to be lit up there. Has to use the paranoia and the smoke to try and exchange and get out of there. Ethan still watching. He's got his man's back, and Marv's still alive and kicking. Not for much longer. A bit of run and gun in action. Stinger. Still a gun you can buy.
It looked like he unplugged his keyboard there.
Yeah.
Just staring at the wall. He's like, I got my one. The rest of you
I
should
give
be
up.
fine.
And look at this, slowed all the way down. NRG are just holding with 3 players.
I mean, when they don't hear the plant go down, they are so ready for the exploration somewhere else. But Crashy's looked away for just a moment.
Hold up, rifle, bloody hell, and W updraft. Avoiding the spam. He's in a really precarious spot. They have to double face this one now. How is that kill not claimed? Khalil, 60 health, 2 bullets, 2 targets. Gets the reload. Nade pushing him back. Out of the corner, doesn't know where they could essentially be watching. Drop down onto Dice's Ethan. He's playing this so bloody well. Out wide, crouched in the off angle. Nicely done.
It looked utterly thorough. I mean, it's a somewhat similar idea to the previous, where if you don't hear all of the exec utility going down on A, immediately alarm bells are ringing in NRG's head. Unfortunately, Crashy's looked backwards because he was thinking, wait, have they actually lurked all the way down mid behind the grass? But you could see that the thought process was there.
Is there a gun for me? Right in front of you.
It's grunting into the mic, as you do.
NRG with massive retake ultimates here. Not playing super heavily committed to the A site. Instead, looking to set Demon 1 up on B.
Look at him, he's playing a bit back as well, just waiting to see if they use the paranoia, which they will. Yeah, clears it through. Demon 1's back out of there. It does connect onto him though. Fast, over the top, dashing into the bag. That's Victor though. Crossfire setup, and Demon 1's there. The smoke just a little bit delayed, trying to push past it and away through it with the Hunter's Fury. Conan was hoping to clear the way for his team. They don't get access to the site.
Crashy's alone, a little isolated, and yet Furia stopped in the choke point.
He has
unable
the spike.
Work further forward.
He's tugged close to market. He's got the spike.
And Demon 1.
He knows.
How does he know?
Maybe here in the TP, I'm not too sure, but Drone not seeing anything. Ooh.
What is Liazi's evacuation plan here?
Not sure. Walking all the way through into the smoke. Drop down. The counter spam. It's there, necessary really, securing that trade, but with the spike in such a precarious spot, there's no chance. What a shot. Nails him straight to the wall.
Hey, Liazi just door-dashed the spike to him. He just sent it straight into the smoke. I can understand he's trying to make the play there, but he was stuck in an awkward position. But man, this round has been difficult for Furia.
30 seconds left.
Again, just an unwinnable position. Spike. Oh, he's pre-firing the jump spot. 20 seconds. A chance, maybe, if Crashies will fall, but he's just playing this one so patiently, so passively. And look at that. Waiting for the flash timing. That's Ethan.
Yeah. Real immaculate play there of their defense towards B. And it's not like NRG needed to be fighting the choke point necessarily too much. Victor's just in a perfect position to collect MW. Then Demon 1 picks one up with the operator. And after that, the rest of Furia are scared to go in.
Beautiful. Nice, beautiful.
A very clean defensive round.
Yep, admiring their own work.
The old version of NRG with Finesse at the helm, I thought they pulled off their most beautiful stuff on the attack side. But in this match, this version of NRG has just been extraordinary on defense. Might be a very different identity that we see from this squad.
How much can you really do now if you are Furia? Knocked down once more to the Sheriff Buys, knives, MW. It's making a lot of noise though. They're going to be able to hear these players out towards Cat, even the ping. I think that's Marv. Saying they could be working their way into mid. They have no control of that area.
They could do with an MW miracle round.
Drone to set him up. Clears a lot actually, getting a ton of value there with the drone MW. Backing away. Marved. Jiggle, spotted by Havoc. Through the wall though. Barely a tickle. Look at that flash as well. Really good at pushing back.
The KO lineups on so many of these maps have just been perfected.
This is 35 seconds now. They're running straight into an hard anchoring setup. They've got Killjoy mollies all the way down
30
towards lane.
seconds left.
Victor and Crashies are set up for success. Hold forwards. It's all being watched for. They just know so damn aware. Furia. Oh my goodness, MW. Lucky to find that one, but we're 15 seconds left. Hello, there's a lot. Really not much time at all. You've got to try and make your way across here onto the lane. It's all being watched. Khalil with 8 seconds. Have to try and stick this one now. A chance with the timing of Demon 1. Just holding for it in case it was faked for button. 1 moment, 69 health. Alarm bot down. Has to know he's there. Through the box. You're joking.
That is precise.
What did he see? Show me the replay.
The alarm bot. I think, genuinely. I mean, Demon 1, he heard the reload, for starters, so he can get onto a more aggressive angle. Hopefully we see it in the replay, but, you know, he's just crept up onto that.
Oh.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh. I mean,
he does see a hat.
It's too clean.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Okay, so no miracle there for Furia. They're gonna have to pull this one out, grind out every single round. These are gonna get super difficult. Massive ults available, but for both teams.
Yeah. Doesn't look like they want to go fast into this one, though. Attack side op for MW. He needs to get value.
We haven't seen NRG go for any of these, you know, super aggressive flash and dash kind of plays, but Demon 1 is trying to get posted on a really deep line.
Time's there. Turret's taken care of.
They've got to know that there's an op behind this.
Yeah, it's such a common play. How do they clear it, though?
Flash, here comes from Havoc. No, it was a team block!
Oh, my.
And that's not Havoc's fault. You know, just maybe a lack of communication, maybe Khalil just swinging a little bit too early. But that could have been a nice punish on Demon 1. They, in fact, even got some good damage onto it.
Yeah. Minute left in the round. Set the sights over towards A, but NRG are so damn ready.
There's a double molly set up here. I think usually to try to stop anybody pushing onto the lockdown, and Victor just rips it, not even playing it for the retake.
Holding it to delay. A main control given up. Havoc running his way all the way up to the top side of mid. He's hoping to try and pull some of these players away. He's a one-man army right now, but NRG, with them taking care of that one, Ethan is left up to him. Absolutely unbelievable. Mark towards the back. Nice jiggle, spots the movement. No, he could have readjusted and re-pushed the positioning there and lit up like a Christmas tree.
I was told, Bren, that IGLs are supposed to get worse individually when they, you know, pick up the responsibilities, the mental bandwidth.
Yeah.
So why is Ethan performing so damn well?
Not fragging.
It's not just the top fragging. On the first map, his utility was immaculate. And the setups on this map have still been really good too.
They have.
He's had some really fantastic calls on defense in terms of how he's adjusted stuff around. I mean, that could, of course, be some of the players on the team, but we'll give the guy credit. We do for all the other IGLs in the scene. But yeah, it does not seem to have dropped off in the slightest, despite picking up the calling stick for the team.
Furia staring down a battle of defeat. Nice flash to re-clear and take control of A main for them, but it's only one round. That's all NRG need, and they've got lots of chances.
Cover going out.
The smoke. Just waiting for the right timing there, so blocking off main.
You should
Everyone grouped up. Here's the lockdown, but an ult in kind. This is going to be removing that threat almost immediately with the Hunter's Fury. So players of NRG, they can't anchor this one. Marv, good paranoia, needs some help though from the rest of his team, and there it is. Ethan, immediately, the collapsing collide and collision course send them straight to the lower bracket. NRG are looking monstrous.
They set some damn high expectations for themselves, with Victor talking about the fact that they simply must be headed to Madrid, must be making it to these tournaments, have to be going deep. But man, the defense sides in particular today looked utterly world-class.
I mean, so well drilled.
Yeah.
Top to bottom in terms of the game plans.
The game plans, the execution, the firing and individual play, the supportive utility. I mean, really looking clean. Furia certainly pushed them. I think this squad has got more to give against other opponents. But today, they got a little outclassed on both of those sides where NRG was able to access the defense.
Yeah.
And this squad it seems like does not need too much time to warm up. They're out the gates with a 2-0 victory.
Amazing beginning for this NRG team. One step closer as well to reaching the playoffs here of our kickoffs. Just the opening here, and like you said, Josh, you know, it's not over just yet for Furia. It's sent down into the lowers, but we'll be finding out who their opponent is actually straight after this one with that matchup. But you're right, I mean, just the individual form, I felt like you saw these highlight moments from every single player of NRG. They're not a one-man team, they're not a one-man show.
But they also happened so often together. Whereas for Furia, we actually did see some big rounds coming out from MW, but it wasn't as often. You know, it wasn't one of those games where MW took over. He was actually prevented from taking over by the way that NRG were ready for him at all times. And then also, Liazi, map 1, really turned up in an exciting manner for a rookie that we didn't expect too much from. Havoc map 2, doing really well. But getting all of that working at the same time is going to be crucial for Furia. I think today they just got outclassed a little bit. They certainly had their chances when they were on the defense side and they forced NRG to attack into them. But on the other way around, I mean, Conan had his opportunity, I think, to try to outcall the squad on the other side, Ethan, and I think he just wasn't quite up to it today.
Yeah, well, with all that being said, let's send it over to Smix down on the stage for the Verizon post-match interview. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Bren. Standing here for the Verizon post-match interview, the in-game leader of NRG, it is Ethan. First things first, Ethan, congratulations. It has to feel great to kick off the season with a clean 2-0 victory, and it all started on Breeze. It was clear from the first half that NRG had great control, and it really wasn't until the second half that we actually saw Furia start to gain what looked like a little bit of momentum. And then I saw that some timeouts were called from NRG. What was talked about in those timeouts to really close it out?
Yeah, I think we knew every round that they won was extremely close, and every round we won was pretty convincing, I'd say. So even though the score got a little close at the end, we were still extremely confident, I'd say.
And that confidence definitely translated over into map number 2. Talk to us, what was the mood like in the team after that first half? It felt like it was a little bit hard to close out some of those gun rounds, and we saw Furia definitely step up, but really you rallied together heading into that second half. So what was the team's mood like?
Yeah, again, you know, it got pretty close, 6-6, but we had some really good anti-strat from Chet, so that kind of brought the mood up a little bit. And, you know, I think same thing. Even though the score got close, we were still really confident, and it felt like, you know, we were winning the whole time.
I feel like it's not just the team that's looking confident, it's also yourself. You are now the new IGL for NRG, and I just want to ask, what has that been like for you? It has to be so many extra things to think about. You know, it's not just about IGLing, but you also have to keep up your own utility in supporting the team. So what has that transition been like for you?
It's fun, honestly. Everyone, you know, is super supportive on the team. They make it extremely easy. So, you know, the coaching, the players, everyone makes it easy for me. And other than that, I just do my job as a player. So it's been good so far.
It's been great to see as well. Last question before I let you go. Of course, next up, you're going to be playing either C9 or MIBR. And it's fun right now because I feel like so many teams have made all these roster changes. Have you and the boys been scrimming against them at all? And what are your thoughts on their teams and how they look?
We scrim a couple franchise teams, but not too many, just because the season's so close right now. So everyone's kind of, there's a big question mark on every team right now. You know, comp-wise, player-wise. So every game kind of going into it a little dry. But we know if we play our game really well, we'll turn out good.
Well, we certainly saw that today. Thank you very much, Ethan, for taking the time. We are going to head to a short commercial break, but when we come back, it'll be Cloud9 taking on MIBR.